Yes. So high functioning anxiety, and this is how I felt. Inside, I felt very chaotic, overwhelmed all the time. Like I was constantly running and going, and I felt uncomfortable inside, even though everything on the outside looked really great. I had a great home, a great family. I had careers, I had businesses. People would refer to me as Superwoman. I always looked calm and collected. They would wonder, how do you do it all? How can you do it all? Like, where's the energy from? That's what people see on the outside. But on the inside, there's a lot of constant pressure. And this is exactly what high functioning anxiety is, this constant pressure to be perfect, to please others. We're very fearful to let other people down, which then feeds into perfectionism and then kind of can lead into procrastination, which is its own issue because that leads to more to-dos and that overwhelmed feeling. There's people pleasing, this inability of us to say no. Lack of boundaries falls into that, where we can't say no, whether it's in work, family, with our kids or friendships. We have this really inability to put the brakes on something. We will do everything we can to help other people at our own expense of physical or emotional exhaustion. This constant worry, and this was something for me for sure, is these what ifs. I always felt fearful. I was always overthinking. I would lay in bed in this hamster wheel of thoughts or ideas of either how the day went, what I could have done differently, or the to-do list for the next day. It was this constant mind that just doesn't seem to want to turn itself off. And then we add like self-doubt in there. And the self-doubt really comes from the lack of self-worth, which is really a core problem for many of us. And it shows itself in so many areas. And it leaves us to feel paralyzed almost at times. Of course, difficulty sleeping usually stems in there. You're either trying to fall asleep and everything's racing through your mind, or you wake up and you immediately start racing and you can't go back to bed because you're overthinking all the thoughts.
Gretchen, I always thought that was normal.
I know.
I thought I'm like nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's
Yes.
exactly right. That's exactly how I felt or I feel. I think I'm much more calm now, probably because we went through so much strife. So I really know what anxiety feels like.
Yeah.
But gosh, when I was, full time working in the corporate world, I mean, I had one mother tell me once, she's like, how do you keep it all together? You're the team manager, you work full time, you have these two kids, you're always like put together. And I told her, I said, hey, that junk closet you have? I said, the door looks pretty, right? I said, then you open up the door and all the shit falls out. I
Yeah.
said, that's me. And
Absolutely.
I just I feel like that's normal. I mean, Emmy, did you feel like this?
Yeah, common, right? I think it's super common. I think that most moms would be able to relate to that too.
Right.
Just
And
I think
juggling
most.
I
50
think,
things at once.
when it becomes a problem is, we may have one or two of these things and you can manage, right? I mean, we all have moments of overwhelm. We all have moments, around Christmas time, we might extend our boundaries or things like that, right? But when it's chronic, when it becomes really every day, when it becomes
Yeah.
physically and emotionally taxing, it becomes a problem. I mean, it's just kind of like any disorder, right? I mean, it isn't a problem till it's a problem.
Exactly. Yeah.
But